Sometimes the best travel days aren't about where you go, but who you're with. I want to tell you about my adventure in Fort Bragg with my friend Don. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back to Miles to Myself. I'm Michelle, and I wanted to talk to you today about my adventures in Fort Bragg with my friend Don. First, I'll give you a little bit of background. Don has been a subscriber of mine from the very beginning when I was still in New York, and we got chit-chatting, and he had invited me to stay a couple of times on his property. And I thought, why not? I'm going to be in the area and we'll get to hang out and I won't be so isolated from friends and family, and we'll go do some adventuring. And that's exactly what we did. On my last day of staying at his property, we decided to take a trip to Fort Bragg. It was a couple of hour drive, very windy roads. You know how much I love those. We started out at Jackson Demonstration State Forest, where this massive old machine stood as a reminder of the town's lumber history. Now, by the time we rolled into Fort Bragg, I was starving. And you may not know this about me, but I have a hearty appetite. So when I'm hungry, I'm hangry. We stopped at Sea Pal on the harbor, and Don promised me the best fish fry that I had ever tasted, but he forgot to say the best fish fry I would ever taste in California, because I have a place in New York that I go to that I absolutely love. It's called Davidson Brothers, and they have the best fish fry that I've ever tasted. This place was okay. So Sea Pal is a place that you might miss if you didn't know where to look. Luckily, like I said, Don knew where this place was, and it was packed. And it is always packed for a reason. The fish fry was crispy and exactly what I needed that day to fill my hangry spot. After lunch, we did something I've never done before. We parked our vans right along the edge of the bay. We soaked in an endless Pacific view. It's one of those spots that just makes you breathe for a minute. On the way back from there, we stopped at the largest redwood ever to grow or cut down, I don't know which it was, in Mendocino County. It is really hard to imagine a tree that size growing out of the ground. It was the size of my van or bigger. It had to have been bigger. After all that fish fry, I still had room for dessert. So we stopped at Cowlick's homemade ice cream. I went simple, coffee and vanilla, 'cause I'm boring that way. And then we found a creature of the past. A Radio Shack. Can you believe it? I thought they were all gone. And I still need a wire for my van. Another friend of mine, who I won't mention his name on this channel, promised me he would cut me a wire when he got back home to Virginia, and I just have not gotten it yet. Anyway, I need a short piece of wire because when I got my kit from Explorers.life, I got like a 20-foot piece of wire. It's like a phone cable or something. J15, J11, I don't know what it is. But anyway, I need like a piece that's less than 3 feet long. And I thought for sure Radio Shack would have it because they used to have everything. Well, they're not the store they used to be, and I was disappointed. They didn't have the wire that I needed. But I did get to see a Radio Shack, which was pretty cool. At the end of the day, after all those adventures, we checked out a sea glass museum, which was small but had a colorful history, before hitting the road to find camp for the night. A few spots that Don remembered now had no camping signs, so we tried a few places that looked perfect to camp, but the signs deterred us. We didn't want to get a knock in the middle of the night and have to leave, so we ended up staying in the parking lot behind a tire store where he had stayed before and said he had no problems there, and we did not have any problems there. It was a wonderful little place, and even better, we put our van doors so that they were facing each other, and we sat and talked to each other for a couple of hours before heading to bed. Sharpie made himself comfortable over in Don's van. He was a big trader that day. And it wasn't about finding the perfect place, even though we wanted to stay at a place that was a little more majestic, a little more van life perfect. We ended up staying van life imperfect at the tire shop. But you know what? It's not where you go, it's who you're with and your attitude when you're staying there. We made the best of it. It was wonderful. And now you're all caught up because the next morning I got up and started driving to Pahrump, Nevada, where I hope to caravan with some folks, some new friends tomorrow. I'm not sure where we're going yet, but it's a 6-day adventure. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.